Recently I decided to download a dating app called Hinge. Now, although I haven't had much success on the platform so far, it didn't take me long to realize that if you like small talk, then you're gonna love dating apps. But I also thought, surely there's a way to cut the crap, cut the small talk, and get straight to the point. So I looked to my own YouTube comment section for some inspiration. Do you like me? Do you like me? Sydney has sadly been in lockdown now for 5 weeks, so I thought I'd take this time to relax, meditate, and think about what I want in my own life. Dude, that is so lame. Just make a Q&A video. Okay. Date me. Porn. Sex. Choose your dream girl. Now, I get a fair few comments from these robot spam accounts, just like Kylie Amber, who seems like quite an interesting lady. But I've always wondered how successful these robot accounts actually are, especially when they're commenting on videos like, do young Thai people actually care about religion? Anyway, enough joking around, let's get to the real questions. What's the most rewarding thing or experience that learning Thai has given you? Great question, Siddharth. I've actually talked about this in a previous video I made, but for me, the most important thing that learning Thai gave me was a greater sense of empathy. When I lived in Thailand, I was always the alien, and I was often in situations where I didn't understand the language, culture, or the people. And learning Thai allowed me to acculturate so much faster and feel like less of an outsider. So when foreigners from all different countries come to Australia, without sounding too arrogant, I do feel like I can relate and empathize with their situations and struggles probably a lot more than the average Australian can. And I think this is a really important point that doesn't often get mentioned when it comes to learning second languages. And it's something I'm really passionate about. ครับอยากถามว่ามีแฟนหรือยังไม่มีครับหาไม่เจอจริงๆนะครับเพราะว่า lockdown. Are you interested in famous Thai artists? I do listen to Thai music. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of like typical Thai pop music, but I do like some of the old school rock bands like Body Slam. Actually, one of the funniest experiences I had in Thailand was when I went to watch Ying Li on her regional tour of Thailand. Now, for people who don't know, Ying Li was like a mega pop star back in the day in Thailand, and her song Ko Jai Lek Berto was like the biggest hit in Thailand in 2014. At the time, I was living in a small area called Bankat, about 1 hour outside of Chiang Mai, and I heard that Ying Li was coming to town, so I just thought, Pai lui gan. So I ended up just sitting there as the only farang in a crowd of mainly families and children, whilst 10 Thai ladies danced in bikinis on stage singing pop songs. Needless to say, I had about 10 singers that night. You are quite an asshole. If you really had a clue of Thai culture, you would never ever act like this. I have lived there many years. They would kick your fucking ass. Oh! There's a small percentage of foreigners who go to a place like Thailand and develop this kind of hero complex. People like JHS believe that they are all-knowing and they can speak on behalf of a country of 70 million people. Now, the great irony of all of this is that he's making a comment about the best way to act, whilst at the same time delivering a comment that probably would be considered low-level harassment. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know a single Thai person who would approve of that. มีแผนจะเรียนปริญญาโทในปีหน้าในสาขา Data Science หรือไม่ก็ ML อยากทราบสิ่งที่ต้องรู้ก่อนไปเรียนครับผมจะแนะนำไปเรียน Python ก่อนนะครับผมจริงๆแล้วผมไม่ค่อยเก่ง Programming นะครับผมแต่ว่า Python เป็น Programming Language ที่เข้าใช้บ่อยมากที่สุดในสาขา Data Science ในช่วงนี้นะครับผมแต่ว่าถ้ามีใครมีคำแนะนำสำหรับพี่ก็ comment down below ก็ได้นะครับผม Is it possible to become fluent in Thai without the immersion of living in the country? For me personally, Absolutely not. I think environment is so key to motivation, and I would really struggle just studying Thai at home. I would find it really, really boring, but maybe if you're some super language polyglot god, you might be able to. Which YouTuber is the biggest inspiration for your videos? Before starting YouTube, my perception of being a YouTuber looked something like this.
Hey guys, it's Paddy here and welcome back to Day in My Life, episode number 85. Today, I'll be showing you guys what I eat for breakfast. You're not gonna believe what I'll be eating. Now remember to hop over to my Instagram for story updates of all the food that I'll be eating, and remember to like this video.
This will probably make me sound like a complete wanker, but originally I found it very difficult to relate to a lot of people who put themselves on the internet. I found a lot of them seemed quite fake, and a lot of the content to be both uninspiring and uninteresting. Then I started watching Abroad in Japan, and to this day, Chris, the host of the channel, is still my biggest inspiration for my own personal YouTube journey. Some of his videos are literally better than Netflix documentaries, and the way he balances creativity, storytelling, a sarcastic British sense of humor, and an appreciation for Japanese culture has always been super inspiring for me. I remember one piece of advice that Chris said in one of his videos one time, and it was something like, a good video needs to either be entertaining or interesting at all times during the video. And that advice has always stuck with me when I make my own videos. So if I could get to half the quality of some of his videos, then I would die a seriously happy man. Are you still studying Thai right now? What are some suggestions to improve your vocabulary? To be honest, I probably haven't studied Thai formally since 2014, but since then I've really tried hard to keep it up by staying in contact with friends in Thailand, listening to Thai music, and also watching Thai news when I can, but เข้าใจยากมากจริงๆนะครับ. But now I'm really lucky because making YouTube videos is kind of my form of study. Now the second question is difficult, but you just have to find ways to be able to learn 5 new words every day. And not just learn the one single word, but be able to use that word in a sentence, because that will just dramatically improve your speaking and your vocabulary. But you have to try for 5 words every day. Is Australia really the upside down? I saw a video of a guy fighting a kangaroo and some pictures of oddly huge insects. Oh, and snakes. I'm planning to move to Australia, and there's this little part of me that tells me, snakes! So according to a University of Melbourne study, 35 people died from snake bites in Australia between 2000 to 2016, which is roughly 2 people per year. That means you are literally more likely to die riding a horse. So Green Bean, when you do come to Australia, if you manage to take a photo in the wild with a snake, I will individually pay you $1,000, because I have seen a lot of Australian bushland and I've probably only seen 3 snakes in my life. Anyway, that is just about enough for today. We have covered a wide range of topics, from Thai pop stars to Abroad in Japan to data science and to Australian snakes. So at this rate, by next week, we'll probably be talking about quantum physics and the complex geopolitical situation in the Middle East. So stay tuned for that. But until next time, keep well guys, and I will see you guys very soon. Jögan.